It's looking good so far. Oh, it's looking good. Is this a hit?
Yeah, this is a hit.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, ready to look at your serve?
Yep. I've always wanted to look at my serve.
You've never seen it?
No.
Like at all?
Ever.
You get 0?
0, 0.
So here's Serena. And I just want you to, what we're gonna really focus on here is the tip of the racket. I'd like you to kind of trace with your eyes the path that her racket follows. And you're gonna see the circular drop of the racket head down, well below her waist, to where the tip of the racket is pointing downwards and the butt cap is actually pointing up and out to the side. And then she's gonna hold that, this is like that whole idea of like lag. Hold that position until just before she goes up to contact. The racket strings here, right here, Debbie, the part of the racket she's gonna hit the ball with is right there. And so her strings are facing that way right now. The part of the racket she's gonna actually hit the ball. So that whole idea of like lag and like holding that like stretch, she's taking to an extreme here. And so she holds it, holds it, holds it. There's the ball. Like the edge of the racket is still pointing straight up towards the ball. And it's not until the very last moment that her hand turns and her strings end up facing where she wants the ball to go. Kind of got off track there a little bit. Watch the tip of the racket and watch the drop and then the acceleration upwards to contact. And then there's the release of the racket. The reason why her racket's going out to the right is because she's holding this angle as long as possible. And when she finally lets it go, she has all this rotational energy coming out to the right. And that's what leads the racket out to the side like that.
I see.
And eventually it comes across her body. When you first start playing tennis and you stand behind the baseline to like play your first match, there's no way that this is gonna intuitively make sense to you, you know? It's like nobody in their right mind would pick up the racket and be like, I'm gonna make this part go up towards contact. And at the last second, I'm gonna quick like flip it to like, nobody would ever do that. Instead, like everybody intuitively understands that it's this that makes the ball go where they want it to go. And now the strings are just facing the target the whole time. And so instead of loading the shoulder and stretching it and dropping the racket and pulling and snapping, it ends up becoming basically like an elbow hinge, like push, and it just ends up being a pancake, you know, flat motion forwards. It just makes sense. So this is one of your first serves. So watch where the string's facing right here.
Up.
Yep. And so right from the very first move, you're opening the strings and basically setting up the whole motion for a push, for a push type of motion. Okay. After that first move, you kind of get to an edge type position right here, where you can tell that you're definitely like mindful of wanting to get the edge, hopefully leading kind of up towards the swing instead of going to the waiter's right. And then once you turn your body to go up and try to hit the ball, you go right back to fully open position with the racket again.
Got it.
So this is the kind of elbow hinge push type motion. The problem is we're not utilizing the leverage of the shoulder. We're also not utilizing any kind of snap or release of the racket. And when you go into this motion, the trajectory of the ball, the delivery of the ball is extremely straight and direct. This ball may have actually hit the net.
It did.
Did it?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, just barely. Look, you can see the shadow.
Oh, you can see it bend.
Yeah, you can see the right there, yep.
Just a tiny bit. Look at how deep in the box this serve landed. This is from a ball that barely cleared the net, and you have about, what would you say, 2 feet of maybe 3 feet of margin on the other side. But let's check out the clearance here over the top of the net.
Of clearance. Look at that, beautiful down the line.
Yeah, it's probably, I don't know, a foot. This isn't a lot of clearance, to be honest. It's probably clearing the net by maybe 12 inches.
Okay.
Maybe 14. Remember, yours barely cleared. And this is landing further inside the service line than yours did.
Got it.
The only way that's possible is by sending the ball from a higher trajectory and having some curve or some dip down into the box. So, first key position, basically the trophy pose, kind of position, is with the tip of the racket facing upwards. And in this position, you have a tendency to lay your wrist back. We want a neutral hand and wrist position. Like if I put a ruler down the back of your wrist, this needs to stay flat.
Okay. Feels more comfortable there.
Well, that's good. So let's just practice that a couple times. From setup, to trophy pose. I'm just going to watch you do a couple. And right now, I just want you to be very mindful of the wrist, the back of the wrist. Keep it neutral.
Oh.
That's not neutral.
No. Keep my wrist up?
Meaning this.
Oh, jeez.
Does that make sense? There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, that's better. Yep. Now, the next step or phase after getting to this neutral edge position is the tip of the racket needs to fall into that drop position. What's causing this, let me do it righty. What's causing the drop is the shoulder flexing backwards. And so that's what causes the racket to drop. It's not the arm bending and like scratching the back. So we're just going to practice going from here with a neutral hand and wrist to here. Yeah, correct. Yep, that's it. Neutral hand and then tip down. Yep. As the tip drops, your shoulders should turn forwards. Yep, that's it. Neutral hand and then tip down. Good. Keep doing that. Yes. Neutral hand and then tip down. That's really good right there, Debi. So there's straight, which means the edge of the racket is also leading the drop instead of the strings. So here's that drop position. Racket, tip of the racket is below waist height now. Neutral hand. See how there's a straight line down the, not the most clear image ever, but see the angle of the racket here between the two of you? And watch the tip of the racket and watch the tip of the racket. And so now the next phase that we just saw on Serena, once we get to this stretched shoulder pulling position, is to bring the edge of the racket first up towards contact and then turn the shoulder in the hand, aka pronate, to face the strings towards the box. Yep. Let's go ahead and slowly go through the whole thing. Just one piece at a time. Neutral hand, tip down, edge first, and then release. Yes, good.
Easy and slow-mo. Not even
if only it was, we could play tennis like that. I'd like you now, since you're feeling relatively comfortable or confident with it, to start putting it together in one fluid motion. Not that we want to go fast, but don't make any pit stops or pauses, and just kind of flow through the whole. Yeah, that's nice. That's a good speed right there. And just remind yourself of each of the positions while you move through it smoothly. The neutral hand, tip of the racket down, then the edge going up first, and then the release. Yep. And just keep moving through it all the way smoothly. You're doing great. Now, I'd like you to move through all those same checkpoints, but this time you're going to pretend toss a ball. I know you were raising your left hand before, but I want you to actually visualize a ball going in the air now and move your racket hand and your racket at the tempo that you think you would have to move it in order to actually time the racket with the ball. So try to find the timing. Imagine tossing the ball up in the air. Yep. Good. And try to find the right timing. Yep. So you could actually catch the ball on your racket on its way down. Yeah, that's good, Debi. Okay, now this is going to seem a little weird. You're going to toss the ball now, but not where you can hit it.
Okay.
We're just going to practice tossing a ball off to the side and see if you can time the rhythm of your swing so that when we like look at the replay of the video, the racket actually lines up with the ball as it comes down. Oh, good. That was a great start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really nice, really nice. There you go. Go ahead and do 2 without the ball first, please. Just remind yourself of the path and the motion and like the feeling of it. And imagine the ball actually up there. And you got to move the racket so you actually line it up with the ball. One more of those. And then you'll do a fake toss. Yep. Now toss out to the side and do the same motion. Yeah, the real ball. Good job, Debbie. And I just want to visually let you see how you're checking all the boxes here. So neutral hand. Your hand is no longer curling backwards.
Okay.
And that's keeping the racket edge on edge. Then the tip of the racket is falling below waist height, which is fantastic. That, by the way, is kind of our ultimate goal. On a real serve is going to be the tip of your racket getting below waist height. Then the edge is, look, extra credit here. Your strings are actually angled downwards, which I don't mind at all on the shadow swing. And then the release is a little bit late. That's totally fine. So you're really optimizing to make sure that the edge is leading, which is great. So then we're holding the edge. Nice, and you're actually releasing pretty good. You're kind of like avoiding. You're kind of taking a detour here to avoid the ball. Yeah. So like this is good. Like I give this like a solid B plus probably, like B plus in terms of like checking all the boxes. Shadow first. Now commit to the same motion. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
No,
That was good.
That was-
I want
yeah.
to see it. I want to see
Sorry,
it.
I had to stop.
No, that's fine. You had it. I think you hit a good position. Yep. Yeah. Got the edge. Yeah. And you opened it in time. Look at your racket's facing. Look, when you actually did hit it.
I know, and then I was
Look at
like, oh
this-
crap, I'm not supposed to hit it.
Dude, this is going to work.
Yes.
Like this.
I'm glad.
This motion would have actually put the ball in the box.
Yes.
And you did all the pieces right. That's massive. That's really, really good.
that's so good.
So shadow first, just reinforce in your brain. Neutral hand, tip down. Yep. And now with a fake toss that you're not going to hit. Good. And then a hit. Commit to the same motion.
Hold that edge.
Yeah. Oh, that's
was-
good. Look, you inverted the racket, meaning the strings are facing downwards instead of upwards. It's huge. So look at how much longer you held this time on the way up towards the ball. And then you opened it like just in
A little
time.
too soon, or was that?
I mean, compared to Serena, yeah. So this is like, we're on the right
Yes.
track. We're on the right track. And it's just a matter of holding it a little bit longer. But this would already be fantastic. This is how I recommend you start all your practice sessions, Deb, if you're going to start off with focusing on the serve. It might seem repetitive and kind of boring, but it's absolutely critical that you reconnect your mind and your body into the correct new movement. If you go out there, grab a basket of balls and just start chucking up balls and hitting them, that old, 4-year-old, habit, it's gonna take over. Yep. A fake toss. Awesome. Good hold on the edge. And a hit. Shoot for that same hold. Okay, good. Good effort. Go ahead and try for a hit again. Yeah. Whoa, that might be it. Good hands. Good drop. Good edge.
Hold it.
It's opening too soon.
You're already opening.
It looked
did,
better than
it
that.
did.
It looked like she had a
Shit.
snap in there, and you probably still did, compared to for sure where you started.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta do that again.
Real quick, Debbie.
I got it.
It's super critical. Like I know.
To see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're disappointed that you didn't quite nail that one, but when you compare it to where we came from, it's really important you have this context. Okay, so here's the starting position comparison between the two. What do you notice?
Well, where my racket is
Yep.
facing versus where my racket is facing. This
Yep.
is right before I'm making contact?
No. No, this
You
is your
just
first.
tossed.
You,
I
you
just okay,
put the ball
okay.
up in the air.
Got it, okay.
And that's the first place you're going to before. And you just toss the ball in the air. And that's the first place you're going to. I'll put the ball in the
okay.
same spot. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Next move. Drop of the racket. That's as low as you get, about shoulder blade.
Shoulder, yeah.
Compared to the one you just did. Completely different
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it looks different.
Totally different. This is below waist height. This is shoulder. I mean, it's a foot more drop with the
and
tip of your
angle,
racket.
too.
Yes. And so look at how it's really before your racket even starts to go up. Whereas this one, it's not Serena, but look at how the edge is still coming upwards. You're a little bit premature here with the opening.
Yeah.
But you look at the comparison between the two. And so we have there is some snap here. There is some edge that's being held, and there is some release. And look at the contact point here. Compared to this one, all push all day. This is just like a shove forward of the
Shot put.
the racket. The heel of your hand is like the leading edge of this swing on the left. And on this one, it's the edge of
Like
your
half,
hand,
half.
the bottom edge of your
This
hand
whole part.
that's leading the swing. So I'm trying to paint kind of the full picture here. From where you came from, this is like 75% of the way to where we're trying to get to
Okay.
in 24 hours. And that's really, in my experience, pretty unheard of. Yep. Oh, I want to see that. Let's see that one.
This is the one where you thought maybe she opened a little too early.
Oh yeah, Hey,
Yeah.
But it looked good. And,
Yeah, and that's why I cut it. So we'll see.
Ooh, good. It's looking good so far. Oh, it's looking good. Is this a hit?
Yeah, this is a hit.
Wow, oh, that's amazing.
You see that? Like,
That was Serena level, Debbie, on the edge hold.
Okay.
It really was.
look how long you
Watch
hold
the
this
edge.
for.
It inverted in the
Edge,
back. That's a
edge,
baller
edge,
position.
edge, and now you're starting to open.
I can't believe it was a hit. I thought it was going to be a fake. It's gonna be really close. Watch watch the racket, Debbie. The angle of the racket, the strings.
So the start.
Serena's gonna be doing some things different with the angle of her body and like rotationally what she's doing. But watch the racket face. It's right. It's real close. Serena's just a little higher and holding it like 100th of a second longer. But you're like right there.
So
That's
good.
great.
Great work.
Yeah, great job.